Hello friends and welcome to the Exams Made Simple. So friends, I'm pretty sure that in the last 10 to 15 days, you must have seen at least 100 videos regarding Israel Palestine conflict. You must be scratching your head that is what is going on, but still you won't be getting the clarity because everyone is making this dispute very complex. I will try to break the dispute in chronological order and tell you what is exactly happening there and how the things changed in Israel and Palestine. Okay? We will start from the older times to the newer times with every detail you need to know about this dispute. So actually the dispute started 2000 years ago regarding a patch of land, and that was the Jerusalem. Now Jerusalem is being considered a holy shrine or a important pious shrine in both the Islamic culture as well as the Jewish culture. Okay, so it is considered a holy shrine, and both claim that this patch of land Jerusalem belonged to each one of them. Okay, so in the 7th and 8th century AD, you must be aware that Islam came into prominence. Islam came into prominence, and Arabs and Turks, they started gathering the power. Arabs started conquering the regions. In 1453, they seized Constantinople, established the Ottoman Empire. You all must be aware that in 1453 established the Ottoman Empire, and after that, they sort of dominated the European world as well. Now you must be aware that जैसे ही Ottoman Empire यानी कि Turks, Arabs, they will gain the power, the Islam will rise to power, and thus the Jewish community, which was trying to gain this Jerusalem region or trying to gain this region of Israel or Palestine, what we then knew as Palestine, they started migrating to different regions in 1453. So they migrated to different parts. Only 3% of the Jewish population was living in the Palestine region that time. Only 3% of the population was living in that region. Now let's fast forward to 1917. 1917 is the year in which World War I was going on and Ottoman Empire lost its power. You all know that Ottoman Empire sided with the Germans and they lost the power. So Ottoman Empire or the Caliphate, it lost its power, and this gave the Jewish community an opportunity to come back to their holy land. What they called their holy land. इसके पीछे एक और व्यक्ति का रीजन था, that was Theodor Herzl. Theodor Herzl was actually a person who gave the concept of Jewish nationalism. Jewish nationalism is known as Zionism. This concept of Jewish nationalism is known as Zionism. This is what Jewish nationalist concept is known as. So 1917, Ottoman Empire losing its power, and now the Jewish community, which was scattered in different regions of Europe, especially Germany. There are two reasons why they started migrating to this region. First reason was Ottoman Empire lost its power. They got an opportunity to regain their patch of land. And second reason was the Germany, in which the Jewish community was living in majority. What happened is that in Germany, the Holocaust started, or the killing of the Jewish people started by the Hitler. So they started running to save their life as well. And what better place than their holy land? So they started coming to this region. One more reason was there, and that reason is that in 1917, यानी कि 1917 में ही, there was a Balfour Declaration. Balfour Declaration was a declaration between British and the Jewish people. What Britain said that we will give Jewish community their holy land back, and they will be living there. So after hearing this Balfour Declaration point, Jewish again rampantly they started running to that Holy Land region or the Palestinian region that we called then it was called that. Okay, so these were the reasons why people started coming to this region. Now अब मैंने पहले ही आपको बताया कि until 1917 there were only 3% Jewish people. Now as soon as this population of Jewish community will increase, this will create tension between the majority Arabs who were living there. This was actually Ottoman Empire till 1917, so Arabs were in majority, and now it started creating tension. So Britain was there. Britain established a colony in 1917, saying that till we are ready to transfer the power, we will remain here as a colony. So they were living there, And in 1945, they started realizing that this issue is going on very violent, and now they will not be able to sustain, because in 1945 the Second World War was also almost at the end, and Britain lost almost all of its power. So what they decided is that a new body is being formed, that is the UN or the United Nations. So why not we transfer this dispute to them, and we just remain silent on this matter now. So they handed UN its case, the Israel Palestine case. In 1947, what the UN decided is that they said that we will divide this region of Palestine into two parts, one with the Jewish community and second with the Arab community. So the Jewish community land was known as the Israel, and the Arab community land was known as the Palestine at that moment. Now Jewish people accepted this, okay, but Arabs were not happy, because they thought they are in power, they are the majority, they have been living there from the last 400 years. So why should they concede this defeat or concede their land? So they were not very happy. So they teamed up all the Arab regions which were near about, that is Egypt, your Israel, your Jordan. They teamed up and they fought a war in 1948. This war was won by Israel. Israel captured many regions in this war. And after 1948, the boundary looked like this. As you can see, they gathered much more area. Jewish community ने और ज़्यादा area ले लिया. And अभी दो part थे. मतलब कि आपका जो West Bank वाला part है वो Jordan के पास था. Okay, the Gaza Strip वाला portion was with the Egypt. Now this was the difficulty. Means Israel gathered much land, and one patch West Bank was gathered by Jordan, and the Gaza Strip part was gathered by Egypt. Now the things were going on, but in 1967 there was again a 6-day war. So this 6-day war happened, and in that 6-day war, why is it called 6-day war? Because it ended in 6 days. Israel demolished all these powers, all these neighboring powers, the Arab powers, and now they gathered this Sinai Peninsula. They gathered this Gaza Strip का जितना भी western part था, western part of the West Bank, sorry, and they captured the Gaza Strip as well. They captured the Golan Heights, that is from the Syria. They captured Golan Heights as well. So 1967 war ended with Israel occupying almost every patch of land there, leaving just a minuscule land for the Palestinians. So they captured all these lands. So this was the story till 1967, and they gathered much of the land. So after that, many peace resolutions were going on. Peace resolution 242, for example, there's a resolution 242, UN based resolution is there. And Oslo Accord is also there. So the current status is like this, that in the West Bank region, the western part of the West Bank is claimed by your Israel, which is having the Jerusalem part, and the eastern part is claimed by the Jordans. Okay? And in coming to the West Bank region, the Gaza Strip region is actually given to the Palestinians, where in 1980s some violence started. Why the violence started? Because people were having some resistance to the Israelis, and they started ignoring their things, or started disobeying the law, started not paying taxes. And this period of 1980s, in which the violence erupted in the Gaza Strip region, it is known as the first Intifada. This time of 1980s, when the Palestinians started arguing with the Israelis, they started disobeying the Israelis, and they started not following their rules. So this time is known as the first Intifada. The first Intifada led to the formation of a rebel group in that region, which is known as the Hamas. Hamas is a group which was known for its suicide bombings, which is known for its attacks, which is known for its non-violent activities, and some social welfare activities it undergoes there also. For the Palestinians, it undergoes some social welfare acts in that region. What they actually want? They actually want the division of before 1967. They want the division before 1967, that they want their the land that has been reclaimed by the Israelis, they want that back. And it is that reason why this issue is still going on. The issue is for the land. It is for the patch of land. The western part of the West Bank, which is hosting this Jerusalem region, this is being captured by Israel, and Israel is claiming it. Now USA has also given a green signal that yes, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. So this gave them much more authority in that sense. So this issue is going on, and Palestinians want their patch of land before 1967. So they fought the war and they lost the land, and now they're claiming that back, and therefore this issue is going on. And again in the Gaza Strip region, which is there, Hamas are there, in which the Palestinians are there, that region becomes very prominent in this regard. And the issue that the war, the bombings, every time it occur in that region. That is why in the Gaza Strip region you will find that they are bombing from one side and they are bombing from the other side. Hamas are bombing or sending the missiles, satellites from one side, and the Israelis are using the Iron Dome system, or they are bombing the Gaza Strip region from the other side. So this is this dispute. This is the whole story. These were the in-between wars, and that was the Balfour Declaration or the Theodore Herzl call for Zionism. So all these things were there, and today also the issue is on that only. Al-Aqsa Mosque, that is there, which is considered a holy shrine by the Islamist group, and there is a Jerusalem which is considered holy by the Israelis, and that is the patch of land which is still disputable, which is still having disputes. So that is it for this video. I hope you understood the issue, you got clarity. Thank you and have a nice day.